Good morning, y'all. I'm going through a very personal thing. So, it is 6 o'clock on a Monday morning. And I decided yesterday that I was going to quit my job. And I woke up really early because I was like, I'm calling out. I'm going to put my letter of resignation in and I'm going to call out today because I need like mental space to just think about what I'm about to do. But before I did it, because I went to church and I just felt like all the signs were there and I knew there was something that I really wanted to do. So I woke up this morning and I just been researching. How do I know if I'm supposed to quit my job? How do I know if this is God? I've been looking up Bible scripture, like just everything. I just wasn't sure, like, although like everything in my body's telling me I'm doing the right thing, I still wanted to verify if this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I was watching a video. Actually, I was reading an article yesterday and they said, if you want to know this is like what you're supposed to do, think of an animal or think of something, an object. And if you happen to see that object like around time or within like the next couple of minutes and you remember like, oh, I told God to send me that sign that, that means that this is what you're supposed to be doing. So last night I thought tiger immediately. I was like, all right, whatever, tiger. But I didn't think anything of it. I was like, I'm gonna go to bed. So I wake up this morning and I'm researching again. I'm like, here's some videos about people who quit their job and felt like this is the right thing to do. And I was like, all right. And then the girl in the video was like, tell God to do something specific. Like, tell them the sign, tell him the sign that you want to happen for him to tell you that this is okay, that you're on the right track. So I'm like, okay, tiger came in my head. And I was like, God, if you don't show me a tiger in the next 10 minutes, I am not quitting. And I'm going to show you the picture. And it wasn't even like a freaking like when I saw it, it was a shadow. The picture's right here. I saw the shadow first. So I just immediately started bawling. And then I just saw a cat. And then I just saw what it said on the photo. And I was just like a hot mess a second ago. But I'm not going to be one of those people that are bawling, crying on camera. I'm not going to do it. But today's the day. Okay. Today. Notice of resignation. Is the day. I need a template. I don't know what I am. But I know that I have God on my side. And I know that my job is not fulfilling my purpose. And I know that I have a lot more to offer. So I'm going to put my 2 weeks in. Not really, more like my 3 weeks. I should just put 2 weeks in and be like, F it. But here we go. So, I put in my notice. And I think like the difference between like me and other people on YouTube that might put in their resignation without a plan is that I literally don't have a huge following yet. It's not like I make tons of money on this platform or on any platforms. I'm very, very part-time basis, and that's what makes this so scary. But I don't want to really talk about why I'm quitting right now. Just let me regroup. I'm going to call out for the day because I just mentally I can't right now. So I'm going to get back to you guys. I'm just tired and yeah, I'll be back. Okay guys, I quit my job today without a plan and I am the happiest I've been in so long. And I literally resigned this morning. So I woke up at 5 a.m. and I just wrote my letter of resignation and I just emailed it, and then I called out for the rest of the day because I just really couldn't deal and I had a lot of things going on and I just felt like this is the right decision for me. So I I would normally feel afraid. I would normally feel like, you know, uneasy. I would normally feel, I'll be so wrapped up in my future, like what's gonna happen if this happens, what's gonna happen if that happens. Literally, there's nothing in my control. As much as you might think you have control of your life, you think like, oh, what if, you know, I get sick and I lose insurance? What if you lose your job and get sick anyway and you don't have insurance? Like, there is so many things that can happen, and I decided to just leap in faith and just I don't even know. I can't even articulate like what I'm trying to say, because my hands are hot and I'm on fire. So just to give you guys a little background, it's like I can't breathe because I feel like I couldn't breathe for so long. Like now it's just like I've been working at this job for almost 5 years. I've been all over the place. You know, for a long time, you know, I did everything the correct way. I always listened to my parents. I got good grades, went to school, got a job, and I didn't really pursue what I got my degree in. I got my degree in musical theater because it just didn't feel secure enough for me to go for that. I didn't feel like I was good enough for that. I didn't feel like I could deal with the rejection. I didn't feel like I was passionate about it. I didn't like the process of auditioning. And when I realized that that wasn't what I want to do, I went and got a regular job, and another opportunity came in my lap, and you know, I did that for a little bit, and I learned so much. I learned about self-development and work ethic, and I learned from so many business people. I got to travel the world. But then I was like, this isn't working out because I'm not happy 100%. Some things happened with the company. It just didn't work out, and that's what led me here to this job that I've been with for 5 years. And I worked in a customer service based job with really great benefits and pretty good pay for the area anyway, or for the type of job it was. They give you so much time off and all these benefits, and healthcare is cheap there, and it's just, there's so many reasons to stay and stick it out. There's so many reasons why you shouldn't quit, you know. But when your soul and your spirit feels drained, you know, I found YouTube thanks to this job. If I would have never started this job, I would have never found YouTube. I would have never thought of it, because the people that I met were like, just start a YouTube channel. Like, it was something that was put toward me, and I was guided toward that just because the certain people that were in my life. So working there was such a blessing, but it was so draining. And I was in a call center for years, you know, for about 2 years or so, maybe 3. Yeah, like 2 years, 2.5 years, and I was so over it because I wasn't fulfilled. I wanted to do more. I wanted to be more. I wanted more responsibility, or I wanted something that challenged me, because it wasn't challenging me anymore. I was training people. When you get to the point where you're training people, or everybody's coming to you for help, or you're just doing things that are outside your job just to help the department, you start to realize like, okay, I need to move on. Like, this isn't feeding my spirit or my soul. I need to do something different other than not using my full potential. And I don't have any passion for healthcare, which is what I was working in. I don't have a passion for that. There's no art to it. There's nothing to it. And I was just like unhappy for so long. And then what happened was I applied for a new position, and although I was so happy with my management, I kind of wish I would have never left that department. But I was like, I'm tired of taking phone calls. I don't want to talk to people anymore. I want to do something different. So I decided to take a step down from the position and do messaging, where I don't have to talk to people. I would just chat all day. And in the office, it was fine. Doing it with around other people was fine. But then working from home, it kind of changed, because luckily my best friends from the unit were moved to that unit as well. So it wasn't like I was by myself. I was so blessed and lucky that my girlfriends are in the unit, so we're a support system for each other. But the new management in this department was toxic, and she couldn't take accountability for the toxicity that she caused. The emails were toxic. The way she spoke to people was toxic. The way she sent emails, and she probably saw this coming because I was so stressed and I didn't feel good enough, and it was such an easy job, but they made it so difficult. They made it so difficult, like something that should be 1, 2, 3, they added rules, and then you had to do this, and I had to copy and paste things, all the same information for 3 different documents, and it was just so much extra work than it had to be. And I don't mind working hard, but I don't like tedious stuff, and I don't like being treated like what I feel doesn't matter. If everyone in the department feels the same way, maybe you need to, as a company, step up and figure out how to make it better or easier for us. And not that I'm saying that that's not what was being done, but a lot of us are unhappy in this department, and we get threatened a lot, like, oh, if you do this, like, just it's just assumptions. One of the scenarios is that my electricity went out. She asked for proof, so I said I would give it to her. And basically the order of how it happened was my electricity went out the night before, right? So I went to my dad's house, who lives right up the block. I don't know if the electricity's on or off the next day. So I messaged her. I said, hey, the electricity went out. If it's not on by this time, I'll go into the office if possible, because with the pandemic or with the world change, you can't really go into the office. But I was trying to work something out just in case the lights were not on by the time I got home for my shift. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna need proof or whatever. And I said, sure, that's fine. I have no problem giving that. But instead of waiting for me to give her proof, she went and researched it on her own. And she said, it doesn't say there's any outages in your area. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm not home yet. I was gonna let you know when I got home if the outage is still happening. She's like, oh, your story's not adding up. I'm like, no, the story makes sense. You're just assuming that I'm making up something. And then she goes, oh, do you just need a day off? No. If I needed the day off, I wouldn't have asked to go into the office. How does that make sense? Make it make sense. And then another thing that happened, which was really obnoxious, and that was, my electricity went twice. The second time, I sent her the information again about the outage or whatever, but it was that she sent me an email saying, there's a trend of your electricity going out when I'm not in the office. Ma'am, we don't work in the office. I don't know when you're there and when you're not there unless I go and send you an email and it tells me not there, or if you send the email. I don't know. So I'm like, what's the trend? 2 times it's happened. It's a trend now. You've been out of the office multiple times and you're telling me that now these 2, it was just the way that she would speak to me. Just not believing the things that I said. There was a lack of trust. Even though I met my quota, we have a quota. We have to meet a certain amount of production, and I'm meeting my quota. I'm meeting my numbers. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm still being questioned. I don't want to be in a toxic environment. I can't continue to do it. So by the time I'm done being questioned and bullied, and I remember I was off shift one day and she sent me an email like, she sent me a text, you're super disrespectful and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, how am I being disrespectful by telling you facts and what's happening? You accuse me of these things, and then I tell you why you're wrong, and then you're upset about it. And I'm a very respectful person. You know, I literally am a timestamp. On Monday, this happened. At 2 o'clock, this happened. At 3 o'clock, this happened. This is why this happened like this. If I send you an email and if I tell you I think it's unacceptable that you are talking to me like this and threatening to write me up or saying this is like, it was literally so toxic. Like, we were trained on a new system, and I never worked this new system, and everybody else had time. I was on vacation. They already been working on the system for like 2 weeks. Me, it was my first time ever working the system. And then she sent me an email like, why did you only do this many? This is unacceptable. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. This is new to me. I have no idea what I'm doing. And I don't mean to ramble. I feel like I'm venting, and it's just like, it's been so much of that, like to the point where I wanted to go to HR so many times. I wanted to report her behavior so many times. And for me, I went to church. This is the reason why I decided to quit. I went to church, and I wasn't thinking anything about quitting my job. It wasn't like I was like, oh my God, I can't take it. It wasn't like a situation happened. Everything was actually very good. Actually, something that had happened that week before is that they're requiring us to work weekends now, which I've never in my whole 5 years of being there had to work a weekend. So they're like, if 2 people don't volunteer to do weekends, then we have to rotate and do holidays or whatever the case is. So I offer to do it, but then she's not willing to work with me. It's like, oh, I'll do this, but you can't do, like, you could do what we want you to do, but we're not going to work with you to help the whole unit. So there's this thing called 4x10s where you work 4 days, 10-hour shifts, and then you get 3 days off. And I said, I will work every Saturday, and this is the schedule I would want. Can you work with me? And she says, no, it's only 8 hours for the Saturday. And I'm like, okay, so you're telling me that you want me to work weekends and change my whole life around, and I'm literally willing to help, and you're not willing to work with me. And that's what this company has a trend of doing. When we need something, they're not there for us. They don't care because we're replaceable. So I was like, all right, like, I don't care. This is the schedule I could do. I'm not helping any other way. If you can't figure it out, I guess we're gonna have to rotate. So that's basically what happened that week, but I wasn't frustrated or mad or annoyed. I was just like, all right, whatever. She never responded to the email, of course, because she's toxic. And the next literally that Sunday I went to church, and I was like, the sermon was just about taking a leap of faith and just believing in yourself and believing in God and knowing that God is going to catch you. Like, he's not going to leave you. He's not going to, I'm not going to cry on camera. It's so annoying. He's not going to leave you. He's going to always be there to catch you. He's not going to just, and it's not something that's earned. Like, being a Christian, when you believe in Jesus, your blessings are given to you. Like, you are ready. You'll never do anything enough to earn it. That's the whole point of God's grace, that you'll never earn it. It's just given to you because he loves you. And the analogy that he said was that if your kids are bad, they deserve coal. You know, they don't really deserve a big Christmas gift or big Christmas presents or whatever the case is, but you love them and you want to do it for them. That's how God thinks of you. It's like, you're a sinner. We're all sinners. We're all going to make mistakes, but he wants to love us. He wants to bless us, but we have to have faith and put things in his hands. When you try to control your own life, you're blocking your own blessings and you don't realize it. And I've been controlling my whole life for so long, afraid to do the things that I know that I want to do because I had fear of not having money. I had a poverty mindset, just not sure what would happen if I didn't have that weekly paycheck or that bi-weekly paycheck. Just the stability. I needed it. I needed the stability because I never felt stable. So the one time I have control of my life, I'm like, I have to have a job and I have to keep it because I know what it can feel like to not have money. But not this time, Lord. Not this time. I took a leap of faith and I said, you know, I looked around the church because I've been going to this church for many years, and I said, I need to talk to someone about this. I need someone. And there's this beautiful woman. Oh my God, I love her so much. I've known her for years, and every time I see her, she's like, let's hi. And I don't know many people in the church, but I know her, and every time I see her, I always have to say hi. And she is someone who serves. She's always there serving, like every other Sunday or whatever the case is. And I just went to her and I said, can you sit down with me for 2 minutes? Can you just talk to me? She was like, yeah. You know, and we sit down, and I just said, I want to quit my job. I'm unhappy, but I have faith and I want to invest in myself, and I have an idea of what I can do and how I can make this work, and I can figure it out. And I just feel like this is what God wants me to do, because I'm not sure if I'm being emotional about it or if this is really God speaking to me. And she just looked at me in the eye. She says, how old are you? And I'm like, I'm 29. And she says, I think you should just do it. Put in your 2 weeks. Let's pray. And I just prayed. And I was just smiling the whole time because I'm like, okay. But of course, even with all those signs and all the things that were speaking to me to do and make this move, I still had anxiety. My mind was set, but my heart and my spirit was set, but my mind wasn't set. I felt like there was more that I needed to do. So I researched and I talked to people that I trusted, and I researched and I just kept reading the Bible and looking up like supporting documents in the Bible telling me that this is what God would want me to do. It's not my own brain telling me this. And just freaking verses on how to work, and verses on quitting, verses on taking a leap of faith, verses on just living in the moment, just verses on everything that's with the situation. And I've never used to be this person. Like, I just started this new spiritual awakening a month ago, and ever since I give my heart, my life to God, everything has changed. Everything has changed. Everything's different. I feel so much at ease. I don't stress. It just feels so good. I don't stress anymore. It just feels so good to know, like, oh, I don't have money in my account. Oh, my account's in the negative. Cool. I wonder what God has planned for me, because he always has something planned for me. He never let me down. He never let me down. Even if you're living in your car, he always had a plan for you. And I just feel so relieved. And I was reading an article that night, and that night it said, you know, pick a sign. Pick an animal, and the first animal that comes to your mind, keep it in your mind. And if you see it, you'll know that's your sign, you know. And I didn't know that you could ask God for a sign. It's different if you say, God, give me a sign. And he's giving you signs, but you don't know what it is. But it's another thing if you say, okay, God, if this is what I'm supposed to be doing, show me a tiger. Show me a tiger. If I see a tiger, I know I'm in the right path. I know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Just give me that sign. Give me that sign, God. Like, show me a tiger. So I went to sleep. I wasn't even thinking about it. I was like, I'm going to go to bed, because I saw the article, didn't think twice about it. And then I woke up and I still had doubt. 5 a.m. the next morning, I still had doubt. I still had fear in my heart. I still felt like, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. So I started looking up YouTubers that quit their job, because I know there's so much on YouTube. Obviously, everybody's different. Everybody's experience is going to be different, and you don't want to assume that your path is going to be how their path is. But I went to YouTube, and then I found this girl. I subscribed. She was really great. Hopefully I can remember. I'll link it. And she basically was saying, she did the exact same thing. She was like, God, give me a sign. But she also said that it was something specific. So she would be like, okay, like, if I lose this makeup brush, then that's my sign. God, if you want me to quit my job, make this makeup brush disappear. Like, it has to be so specific. And I guess the sign happened for her, and then she just went for it. I figured out my finances 6 months ago. I knew I could quit months ago. I knew I could quit 6 months ago, but I just stuck it out, because I felt like you have to be responsible, and the responsible thing is to have a job. But God is not, he's not like that. He's crazy. He does whatever he wants. Nothing ever makes sense with God. You know, it's not supposed to make sense to you. You're supposed to just have faith. And whatever I'm supposed to do, I'm going to do. So, here I am, telling you guys that I quit my job today. I put my 2-week resignation in, and I took the day off, because I just needed it. And then I just was I had so much energy today. I did more today than I have in a long time. You know, just I worked on my channel. I worked on my house. I got to the gym, and I had energy, and I still have energy. And if I didn't have to finish the rest of this month of this job, I would have so much more energy to do whatever. I would probably work all night till 3 a.m. And that's why it's just holding me back. You know, I have all this energy, but I know that if I don't go to bed at a certain time, that I'm not going to be able to be sufficient. And I hate that. I hate that about myself. You know, but you just got to do the best that you can. And that's what I'm doing. I'm doing the best that I can, and I'm literally going to put in so much work. I called my best friend yesterday, and she has multiple businesses, and she said, you know, when you quit, you know, you're going to be working harder on your business than you were on your 9-to-5. Instead of working 8 hours to make the money, you're going to be working 16 hours. And I'm like, but at least it's what I want to do. At least it's my passion, and it feels so good. Am I gonna become a millionaire on YouTube or Instagram? I don't know. I don't know if that's my path. I don't know if being rich is my path. I know that the dreams that God has for me is bigger than my dreams for me. I don't know what it is. I'm going to set a goal and go for that goal, and then, you know, I'm gonna shoot for the moon. But if I land on the stars, that's what it's about. That's what that quote's about. It's just shooting. Go for something. Don't be like, okay, God, I'm waiting for you to bless me. Like, no, I'm going to be grinding, working. And then I might get an email that says, hey, we have an open position for social media marketer. We would love you to do what you do for yourself for our company. Would you be interested? You never know. So that's it. Whew. I feel so much better. I don't mean to be ranting and raving, guys. I really wanted to just come and tell you what was happening. And I would love to give you guys updates on what's going on. I don't know if this is just going to be one video or if this is going to be a whole bunch of different videos. Who knows? I'm going to make content with it. The outside. I see a lot of people that like set their camera and they just do random stuff. I don't know what I'm doing, but I don't know, guys. I just feel relieved and I feel open to anything that God wants to give me, because I am one with God and God is everything. I have a maximum of 6 months to just work on myself and work on my grind and work on my goals and work on my dreams. Full time, 7 days a week, no days off, because that's who I am. I don't take days off. But I love you guys so much, and I can't wait to keep you guys along this journey. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.